Select the one sentence that best meets the requirements of standard written English. A. Britain's women's soccer team became the first athletes to take advantage of the loosening of the committee's decades-long prohibition against expressions of protest. This question features a common apostrophe mistake. To fully understand it, let's quickly review the rules of apostrophes. Let's take the common noun cat. We add an apostrophe s to show we're talking about something that belongs to the cat. For example, the cat's milk. But what if we're talking about something that belongs to multiple cats? Then we already have an s at the end of the word. In that case, we simply add an apostrophe after the s with no additional s following it, the cat's milk. But what about words that aren't made plural by adding an s? Women, for example. We have one woman, but two women. So when talking about something that belongs to several women, we simply need to add an apostrophe s after the word, like we do with singular nouns, like the women's jobs. This means women's with the apostrophe after the s is never correct. As we can see that this is what this choice does, we can mark it as incorrect. B. Britain's women's soccer team became the first athletes to take advantage of the loosening of the committee's decades-long prohibition against expression of protest. This choice corrects the mistake we saw in the last choice. Instead of women's with an s apostrophe, we simply have women's with an apostrophe s. The apostrophe s following Britain is correct as well, as it's a possessive apostrophe showing the women's soccer team belongs to Britain. And the apostrophe s following committees is correct for the same reason. It's showing that the decades-long prohibition against expressions of protest belong to the committee, or they're responsible for it. As there are no mistakes here, this is likely our answer, but we can take a look at our remaining choices just to be sure. C. The Britain women's soccer team became the first athletes to take advantage of the loosening of the committee's decades-long prohibition against expressions of protest. To begin, saying the Britain team isn't correct. Britain is a proper noun referring to the country. In the previous choices, the team had been referred to as Britain's team, which was fine. When adding the before it, however, we need to change it to an adjective, the British women's soccer team. For another example, it would be like saying the France team as opposed to the French team. This is already incorrect, but we see another mistake with the apostrophe s in expressions. The s here is not meant to indicate possession, but rather plural. It's referring to multiple expressions of protest. As this choice features two mistakes, we can mark it as incorrect. And D. The Britain women's soccer team became the first athletes to take advantage of the loosening of the committee's decades-long prohibition against expressions of protest. Once again, we see two problems. First, again, we see the Britain team instead of the British team, and second, we see the reverse problem of what we saw in choice C. Here, the apostrophe s after committee has been changed to a plural marking s, but this is incorrect. Here, we're referring to something that belongs to the committee, the decades-long prohibition against expressions of protest. As the apostrophe here is necessary, we can mark this choice as incorrect and mark our original answer, choice B, as our final answer.